Hello, everybody. Welcome to the live stream. Wanted to come on tonight and hang out for a little bit. Let me adjust the camera here for a minute. Hey there, Luann. Glad to have you. That's getting there. So many thanks to everybody that has already joined us. Thank you for the thumbs up as well. Appreciate that. Hey there, Barb. Welcome to the live stream. Good to have you here tonight. So, yeah, as the title says there, just got my second shot here today, so I figured I'd pop on and hang out and kind of tell you what I was experiencing. And hold on, I think my camera's about to fall. Okay, yeah, it was definitely about to fall. So I had intended to get on a lot earlier, but I was getting some work done around here and wasn't able to get on as early as I would have liked. I was trying to get on a few hours ago so I could do an actual early stream for once, but as sometimes things work out, it didn't go to my plan, so here we are. But we're a little bit early. Again, not really sure how things are going to go. Wasn't planning to skip a 539 episode and a stream, but again, was just doing a lot of work in the back end and ended up messing up the Saturday official scheduled episode for last Saturday, and so I ended up putting it out late, and so we'll have another episode coming sometime tomorrow. And so yeah, we're gonna do a little bit of a catch up here. So, and then I will have hopefully regularly scheduled episodes from here on out. Really was just kind of a random fluke. So yeah, sorry about that. Just looking at the analytics here, making sure everything's working correctly. Oh, your second dose hit like a truck. I actually I got the Moderna, and it's supposed to be a lot worse on the second go round, but I've had so far almost no symptoms. Maybe mildly tired. My arm's a lot less sore. I've actually had a pretty good time with it so far. So I haven't even taken any painkiller or anything yet, so I'm doing great. But again, I know some people have different experiences. Even in my family, people have had different experiences, and I think it just depends on which one you get and all kinds of different factors. But overall, though, for me, not a bad experience at all. Like, it really went quite easy. I ended up getting there about 12:30, and was out and gone well before 1 o'clock, including my 15-minute wait, just to check and see if anything's going to happen, any adverse reactions, things like that. But as you can tell, nothing really happened, and yeah, I headed home. And so I just kind of relaxed for a little while. Like I said, I just felt a little mildly tired for the first few hours, but it's probably just because, I'm generally a late night person, and so obviously I kind of altered my schedule a little bit to make sure that I was up early and ready to go by the time I needed to be. And so that kind of probably contributed, I think, to the tiredness, but I don't know. I've been seeing a lot of different reports from a lot of people, and yeah, so far I've had the exact opposite. It's actually been a heck of a lot easier. So I don't really know, but everybody's different, I guess. Hey there, girl in the curl. Welcome. Good to see you. So yeah, but I really haven't done anything. Really just been kind of hanging out, taking it easy, and um, started trying to work on the thumbnail a little while earlier, and that kind of put things off a little bit. But I don't think it's that big of a deal. So yeah. But other than that, pretty much a normal day. I've been doing a little bit of work on the plants. I did a little bit of pruning on some things. I got a few new plants the other day as well. So probably showed those off here in a little bit potentially. I'm gonna have to adjust that light again. It just seems way too bright, though. That is the lowest setting, but I think I need to adjust the angle so that it doesn't overblow the camera, or at least that area. But yeah. So hope everybody's having a good beginning to your weekend. I don't know what everybody's up to tonight, but I appreciate you coming and hanging out for a little bit. We'll see how things go. See how the stream gets. Oh, we got a few more people. Oh, hey Amanda, welcome. So yeah, we'll see how things go tonight. And yeah, I don't really know. I don't have a plan at all. I just I was intending, like I said, to get on earlier and then kind of hang out all day. But like I said, I was just kind of feeling tired, so I didn't want to push myself too much. Hey there, KB. Yeah, thanks for stopping in. Good luck at the show. Appreciate you saying hi. But yeah, many thanks to everybody that's joining. Make sure to give a big thumbs up if you're enjoying the streams. Like I said, I'm not really planning much tonight. I just kind of wanted to come on and hang out and, I don't know, just kind of show what was actually going on when you get your second dose. I'm sure that it's not the first time that someone's done this. Maybe some people have seen some streams before. I don't know. I haven't really myself seen anybody do any stream related. But again, I don't really know how it's going to go because anytime you use those keywords, you often get hidden by the system anyway. So I have a sinking feeling that it might have that effect, and I might need to kill this one and do another one maybe tomorrow or something. But we'll see how it goes. I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen, but it doesn't seem to be hiding me completely yet, so that's a plus. Hey there, Laura. Welcome to the live stream. Yep, just a few hours. Wow, that really got the volume up. Yeah, a few hours. Well, not a few hours ago. Actually, just about 12 hours ago. I got it at 12:30 p.m. So here in a half an hour, we'll be at the 12-hour mark, and still feel, actually, like I said, much better than I did the first time. I didn't get really much symptoms the first time anyway, though. But I got a lot more sore. Like, my arms almost barely sore at all. So it was quite easy for me. I know that not everybody has that luck, but for the most part, I don't think it's anything that people can't handle. Yeah, good to have you here, Laura. Always good to see you on the live streams. Glad you were able to make it. Yeah, I had Moderna as well. Yeah, I don't know what the difference is. It's crazy, but yeah, had absolutely almost no effect whatsoever. Yeah, just mild soreness in the arm, and that's literally it. Other than that, like I said, a little bit tired, but I think that was more me than anything else. So I hate to attribute it to something when it's not the case. So, oh no, yeah, that sucks. But yeah, some people do have more severe symptoms, but that's pretty rare. But if you feel like you need some extra additional help, yeah, obviously you want to reach out and get that. But yeah, it's good to see that you're out. But yeah, that sucks to have to miss out on things though. I feel for you. But I'm sure though a lot of the country has too, because yeah, I'm sure a lot of people have been missing out in the Disneyland for a while. They had a few big openings here recently. Um, Disneyland, obviously, and then Disney World. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm kind of counting down the days now. I got a couple weeks until it is fully kicked in, uh, and I'm ready to go. And then obviously I'm gonna try and head over and get some tattoo work done and get my piercing redone, and yeah, hopefully head out on the road. I don't know which way I'm gonna go now. Um, I've been getting some bad reports from the Michigan area in terms of travel. It's not looking too friendly up that way. I think they're having some issues for whatever reason, and so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to travel in that direction, even though um, I'll have the vaccine. Well, I already have it. But hey there, Jenny. Welcome. Good to see you here tonight. Hope your weekend's starting out well. Yeah. So, I might have to choose another direction. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. I want to kind of do something I haven't done before, and obviously I've done Michigan before, but the idea was, like I said, to do kind of a loop around the lake area, and then to do maybe a couple of the little ghost towns in the Upper Peninsula and a few other things in the Upper Peninsula that was going to be really amazing. But I'm not sure. It might be okay, but it's looking pretty bleak up that way right now. So, yeah, definitely. You want to drink a lot of water, stay hydrated. Um, Probably not push yourself too much. Try not to do well, do as little as possible, honestly. But yeah, I appreciate that, girl Nicole. Yeah, if you're enjoying the stream, make sure to give it a thumbs up or share it over on Twitter or Facebook. Always helps us to grow here, especially on the second channel. Yeah, being a smaller channel, it's often harder to get the views, and I enjoy doing work over here on this channel, and it's a little bit less restraining, and I like to do the live streams. I think it's something fun to do, and like I've saying last time, we're going to be having some guest appearances here over the next few weeks, actually. Assuming that the streams don't just crash and burn completely, we're going to keep kind of doing these Hangout streams and Q&A streams and the travel update streams and some plant streams and things like that, and kind of build things a little bit. And when I feel like the channel's not completely ready, I know I gotta take a chance at some point. We're not gonna, we're not waiting for like 100 people like on 539, but still, I'd like to see it build up to sort of the audience we had when we used to do the travel streams, like from hotels and things like that. Although, again, content-wise, clearly the Command Center Hangout streams are not the most popular stream, so I completely understand. So, well, we'll probably be doing, like I said, last stream as well, be doing some travel streams here in the upcoming future. But again, the weather has not been very cooperative, and with having to get the car fixed and everything like that, it just kind of has thrown everything off whack for just a little bit. It's nothing major, so it'll be back on track here. But everything's gonna be fixed here, I believe, in the next few days, at least less than a week, and then I'm also gonna be hopefully getting the other car up and running again as well, and getting those upgrades finished. We'll see how that goes. I got a bunch of things kind of in the works right now, so I'm really hoping that everything kind of pans out. But I probably won't have the car ready for the newest road trip. I'll probably take another one of the vehicles, or I might take it undone. We'll see. It's not like it's not functioning, but I was really hoping here when the weather starts being a little bit better at night, to where it can dry, to get the actual paint done finally. As I mentioned a long time ago, it's probably been a while since I mentioned it, but I'm going to be painting my blue car and putting a layer of actual truck bed liner on it, and so it's all sanded down and ready to go. I'll probably have to hit it again with a little bit of sand, just to or a little bit of sanding, just to rough it up a little bit again, and then I'm going to do some truck bed liner on it, and going to be upgrading all the systems in the car, the stereo, and to a touchscreen with navigation and rear-mounted cameras, and hopefully new seats at some point, and reupholstered interior. And we're just going to try and make basically the ultimate road trip car, with everything that I can possibly imagine, just to make road trips easy, and not really easy, but just to have everything you need, whether it's having tools for backup, in case something goes wrong on the road, to having obviously storage, but that's not really an upgrade. That's pretty much every vehicle. But the navigation's a big one, and then upgrading the antenna system so that we can do long distance, way out in the middle of nowhere, live streams without being very close to cell towers. That's a big goal, so that again, when I do the travel streams, we can kind of do more interesting areas that are almost impossible right now. Some of these places I go way out in the middle of nowhere, literally I have no cell service, and so if I can upgrade my antenna system and my internet, I'll actually be able to broadcast in those areas. Hey there, Janet. Welcome to the live stream. Oh, yeah, well, I mean, yeah, every once in a while there may be some people who, definitely have some allergies that factor into that equation. I can't deny that, but but definitely if you do not have those issues, I would highly recommend doing it. But if you're one of the very, very few people that suffer from some sort of allergy, then there might be some other course of action. But welcome to the live stream. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. So, but just something that always obviously to everyone, I'm not singling anybody out, but just, check with your doctor, see what you got to do. I would definitely I'm not sure what you mean by condone. I would definitely condone it for your average person. It's definitely safe that way. But again, yeah, if you're one of those rare people that has a condition that makes it um, dangerous, then yeah, obviously you want to talk to your doctor and see what alternatives there are. But yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, hoping to do a lot more here. Starting in the next few weeks, gonna be getting out on the road again. Like I said, I was pretty sure on the direction of the travel, but that's kind of changed with recent intel reports from the field. It looks like I don't know. It might not be bad for what I'm doing. It's just kind of weird. I don't know. I'm not really sure. I might still try it, but it's like I don't know. I'm just not sure how everything's going to be affected. So, but again, my style of travel is a little bit different than the average person, so it may not matter at all. So, who knows? But I'm definitely considering other options. There's obviously a lot of areas that we haven't gone to, and even more areas that I've been to that I haven't filmed at. So, there's a bunch of possibilities, but I don't really know. I don't know really which way to go. There was even a few camping trips that I wanted to take. And I'm really not sure with the way that things are right now if I'm going to be able to do those. I mean, I am going to be able to do them, just not right away. I mean, so I don't know. Maybe I'll head south. I could head west earlier, but I'm not sure if I really want to do that either. That's the other. Well, I mean, I do want to do that, but I mean, I also was kind of excited to do something brand new right away, and then kind of plan out something for the future where I could take a longer trip again. Probably not quite as long as the previous trip out west, but be gone a week or so, something like that. Hey there, Alberta. Welcome. Good to have you on the live stream tonight. Happy weekend to you. Hope yours is going well so far. Yeah, so any suggestions would always obviously be very helpful. Anybody has any opinions on what areas are really cool that they'd like to see on the channel, feel free to throw some thoughts out there. And I'm always looking stuff up and checking out people's suggestions. So don't think that that always falls on deaf ears. I do often look into things if I see a message from somebody. So it's not something where I just kind of tell somebody that of course I'll look it up sometime and then never do it. I usually do, unless on the odd chance that I might forget, which I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but other than that, I'm usually going to try and look it up, unless I know right off the bat that it's not something that's ever going to be on the channel, but that's pretty rare, honestly. So yeah, if you all have destination suggestions that might be alternatives to my plan that might need to be put on hold, then feel free to put them out in the comments in the chat. Send me an email. Hit me up in the DMs. Doesn't really matter. Whatever you're feeling. Yeah, that would be an interesting one as well. Yeah, I've been trying to do some different pioneer stuff, and the gold rush stuff that I think would be really interesting. I'm wanting to do some gold rush stuff up in Canada too. I think that'd be a really fun thing to do. I don't know. Canada might be another thing to keep in mind too. Hey there, Shauna. Welcome to the live stream. Because I think things are doing pretty well up there right now. Actually, I don't really know. I honestly haven't looked up any Canada news recently. So, but assuming that things were doing okay up there, I could shoot up into Canada to film a little bit. Although my Canada plans were a little bit more extravagant and may take some ample planning. I was kind of planning to go pretty far in. Hey there, Agnes. Welcome to the live stream. So, yeah, kind of a toss-up. But there's a lot of fun places that I could go, so not like I'm disappointed anyway. I'm just more like curious at this point. I don't know, there's got to be something fun. But again, like I said, maybe it really is just the obvious. Maybe I still can really just make it happen. It's just I might encounter some obstacles along the way that are not normal. But again, it could make a very, very good video, kind of documenting really, really early travel, as things slowly begin to get normal again. So I think it could end up making it a good series, if anything. But from what I understand, it is kind of slightly post-apocalyptic looking up there right now. Well, I'm not really sure exactly where in Canada. Most of my experience has been in Ontario. I've been there a few different times. But I've been wanting to go into northern Canada a lot, and I've been wanting to go into western Canada a lot. But I'm not sure if I did something on the short-term scale, I would probably be doing more like a northern trip. On the long term, maybe something west and go into like Alaska. Going to make me like Alaska or something like that. So yeah, it's definitely a possibility, especially with summer coming here and the northern areas being more accessible. I think it'd be kind of interesting. I'd really like to get up to like Newfoundland sometime. I know there's a lot of interesting stuff to film up there. So, and that'd be an incredible trip too. But yeah, I kind of want to go somewhere that's not really accessible most of the year. If I do that, like just go somewhere deep in the middle of nothing, But I might have to recruit some people to go with me if that's the case. I definitely might need some backup in the middle of the Canadian wilderness. It kind of it's a little bit more lonely even than what I'm maybe used to in certain places up there. So but yeah. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that's definitely a place that I'm keeping in mind. Although now, it's been a while since I've been to Canada. So the last time I didn't actually need a passport, and so now I actually need a passport to get there. There is a cheaper option, which is it's like a Canada pass. It's like only for Canada. I think it costs like $50, and it's just like a pass to get you back into the United States when you're visiting Canada. But or you can get a $200, or maybe it's more now, but your full-on passport that can take you anywhere. But I kind of wanted to get that anyway because if I eventually branch out into more international types of travel on a regular basis, I might eventually want to go south as well and head into Mexico and Central America and maybe do some stuff like that. Um, so yeah, who knows? I'm not really sure. But um, yeah, over the next few weeks, like I was saying, we're just gonna keep planning and see how it goes. I really don't know at this point, but we're definitely gonna do something. Um, yeah, obviously, it's been well over a year now since I've done any overnight trips, so it'll be good to actually get back out and do that again and be able to film in some locations that I don't normally get access to. But yeah, I'll keep you all updated. Obviously, we'll be doing some live streams before then. I got 14 days now until we're sort of fully safe, at least safe enough to be heading out there and doing what I do. So it was really important to me to wait on that and make sure that I was doing things responsibly and safely and not putting anybody else out there at risk for any reason. So yeah, it'll be good to feel a little bit more free and get out there and do some of the stuff that I've had to wait on. And a lot of businesses have been closed, and honestly, the tattoos and the piercings just there was something that just didn't feel quite like I wanted to do that during that time period. So I think I made the right decision, and in a few weeks, it won't really matter quite as much anymore, and I'll be able to loosen those rules up a little bit. Yeah, I would love to check out Ottawa. That would be fun. Really, Emma's everywhere. I mean, I really am interested in hitting as many places as I can that I haven't been and then I haven't filmed at. That was supposed to be kind of my 2020 goal, was to just slowly pick individual, sometimes to do larger road trips, but also just slowly pick like little individual states that I hadn't been to yet, either again filming or at all, in my life, and then go to those areas and slowly check them off the list, and then from there start doing like the more the bigger international type trips, the more couple week long trips, or things that are take a lot of planning and stuff like that. So I might start going back into that, depending on how everything goes with like I said, with the channel and everything. So it's kind of dependent on that too. And obviously we're gonna be testing a few things here and there with like the longer form travel content to see how well that does, and if people like that sort of content. And if not, like I said, we'll move that onto a road trip channel and do it that way, and then we'll from there branch out. So I think it'll be good. Sometimes it's just hard to change and get the system to recognize that you're still making decent content that people might still want to watch, and so sometimes it's just easier to start anew and do it that way. That way you build a core audience of that particular channel's. I'm sorry, I'm shaking my camera. I didn't realize I was doing that. My apologies. They're usually waiting 4 weeks. My final one was today, so that means I have 2 weeks until I'm fully covered. So after that, I'll be able to travel again for at least for about six plus months or so, and then I might be doing the boosters for a while, depending on how cooperative everybody is. So if we have the boosters, might have to do that once a year, like the flu shot. If not, then maybe this is it. So it just depends on the numbers and the math and how many people do it and how quick at this point, the way I understand it. So yeah. But yeah, another reason I wanted to come on and just kind of show that it's for the vast majority, it's not a super huge deal, although you might feel some different symptoms. But again, much better than the alternative. So I think that's the logical argument there. Again, with clearly a minor few exceptions here and there. But again, unless you're one of those, you definitely should engage and help things get back to normal. It's a good thing. So, I thought I almost ended the live stream there. I was scared for a minute. So anyway, but yeah, still feeling good. We are 1 minute away from the 12-hour mark from the moment I got my vaccine. And doing great. So much approval, and an exciting technology too. And if you haven't read well above and beyond the things that we're going through right now and the future of this technology, specifically mRNA, it's very exciting. It's gonna bring a lot of good things to the world. So really excited about seeing the future of mRNA and where it takes us in medical technology. Yeah, but it's just medical science. They're looking at the specific time frame that works best to get the most amount of coverage. It's just science. It can be frustrating sometimes to work on science's time because science doesn't care about our time for sure, and it definitely has its, Mother Nature has a mind of its own. So it's unfortunate, but yeah. But no, side effect one is sore arm, slightly sore, a lot less sore than last time, much less sore than last time. Mildly tired, but I think that was actually just because I'm a late night person, and yeah, I really think that was it. But yeah, I feel normal, completely normal, other than just a very, very mild. So, all right, mild soreness. I didn't finish my sentence there, but yeah, other than that, nothing. Just doing great. So, nothing to fear. Like I said, the only people out there I think that have anything to fear probably already knew well before this that they had something to fear, So, yeah, I don't know what the deal is with other places. I haven't heard much news recently from Canada. I got Moderna, which technically often has I guess the harder second round, and a lot of people do experience some side effects, but the only people in my family that experienced any side effects, really, it wasn't terrible though. For the, like I said, for the vast majority of us at least, it's way better than the alternative, like I'm saying, and it's not like, it's not the end of the world, Like if you have flu symptoms for a day, then have protection for 6 months. I think that's a good trade. That's a good investment. Yeah. Yeah, that was one thing that I wanted was to try the mRNA. So I wanted to either get Pfizer or Moderna. Yeah, yeah, it definitely hits some people harder than others for sure. But yeah, but if that's the price you got to pay for freedom, I think it's well worth it. I was kind of prepared that that might happen to me, but I got lucky. Um, but you know, um, I think there's a lot of people out there like me, and I think there's a lot of people out there that are gonna have side effects. But again, um, it's an investment, and it's well worth it. So no complaints here. Even if I you know, had more symptoms, that's cool. It's all good. But yeah, ugh. But other than that, I've been getting, like I said, my plants rearranged. I've been getting the drip tray set up on certain things so I can get the moisture in there. Especially, um, a few of the plants seem to be lacking a little bit in the moisture. I think the ficus a little bit, and then the begonia is looking a little bit. I don't know. It might be getting too bright a light. It's kind of starting to fade a little bit in some of the leaves. It's getting a little bleaching, and so I don't know if it's because it's getting too much light. The grow light looks way brighter. It's actually on the lowest setting, so it's doing almost nothing more than a lamp, which lamps don't do much for growing plants at all, for the most part anyway. Um, it's just not usually bright enough compared to the sun. Um, so I'm not really sure, but I'm gonna try and figure it out here. If I need to move it to a different area so that it's a little bit healthier, then I'll do that. But yeah, I'm not exactly the begonia expert. I know that some of them like high humidity, some of them need to be in terrariums. I don't think the Rexes need to be in terrariums, so I'm not too worried about that. So I'm thinking it's only been on the drip tray with the rocks and moisture at the bottom for about a day and a half now. So I don't know if that has really had much time to adjust. So, um, yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it works and if it comes around. If not, I'll probably just adjust the lighting just a little bit. See, I don't think it's getting too much direct light though. Is the weird thing. And they're supposed to be pretty good at bright light. I don't think they want completely direct sunlight, but they're supposed to tolerate pretty bright light, and from what I understand, and so the bleaching is worrying me a little bit. But I know there's others in other areas that are doing fine, so I'm not really too worried. I can just move it. But yeah. Other than that, I got a few new ones. Is the usual. I'm trying to look for stuff that just is more filling in the gaps, and a lot of times there's still a few key purchases I want to make. But as you can kind of see, I'm working on my reds, with my Tridscantia, hanging on the grow light up there, and then the ficus, the begonia, and then I got a slightly pinkish syngonium, an arrowhead plant, and it was pretty cool. I don't know how well it'll show up. I'll grab it here in a minute. And then I also got decided to get into some of the more exotic types of plants. I picked up a air plant, not one of the little ones that you can get, but it's actually this guy right here. It's a bigger one. You can kind of see like comparatively. about the size of my hand, and I believe it flowers. And it's supposed to be, I think, from what I understand, a pretty quick growing plant if you grow it on the right substrate. Most people think of air plants as being really slow growing, but a lot of times from what I understand, I'm kind of new to it, but from some of the experts I've been listening to, it sounds like it's really about the growing medium, because they typically grow in bad soil conditions, and so they want very specific types of bad soil conditions. Some of them some of them are really tropical plants, and so they'll grow like on volcanic rock. I mean, and so I think this one is one that likes to grow on volcanic. And so the way I understand is if you grow it not on volcanic rock, it grows slow, and if you grow it on volcanic rock, it grows fast. And so I'm gonna see if I can get something big. Most of the stuff I'm finding is either small little pebbles or like briquettes for like fireplaces and things like that, or landscaping. But I've been finding, and apparently you can get big ones for fish tanks that are lava rock, and you can get sort of the carved looking. And so that's what I'm going to try and get. Something that has like a little gap where I can squeeze it in. So no, I'm really sorry to hear about the neck injury. Uh, Definitely wishing you a speedy recovery. That Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, yeah. Again, there's a few people out there that have some adverse reactions, but vast majority of people, vaccines are the way to go. Night, girl in the curl. Hope you feel better. You have a good night. Appreciate you being here. So, yeah. Again, thank you all for being here. If you're enjoying the stream, make sure to give a thumbs up. I did. Oh, I don't know if I ever transferred it. I was going to show some photos. I have been sharing a few of them over on Instagram recently. Some of them, again, some of them I think might be new, but of sort of what we were talking about last time about the car breaking down while I was racing. Well, not racing. I was not racing. Let's be very clear. I was doing the speed limit and doing exactly what I should be doing. But when I say racing, I mean racing the storm. You could kind of see the big snowstorm coming over the mountains, and at a certain point, realizing that I wasn't going to beat the snowstorm, and then being overtaken, and then my battery cracking, and being stuck and basically stuck on the road for days and days and days after I was intending to be home, which isn't really bad. It could have been a lot longer, but yeah, and I was also racing back home to get my driver's license renewed, so it was kind of like a race against time and a race against nature. So I did get some of those photos. I might, I'm not sure if we'll do that this time or on the next stream. I know it was a little bit of time. It wasn't a huge break this last time, so it's not a huge deal. But I might wait and do a specific travel sort of a travel story stream. So, and then put some of those photos up on screen here. Otherwise, I'm gonna be kind of scrambling, and I would like somehow to do like a slideshow. I know I can do it on here somehow, but I've never really tried it, and so we'll see. So, yeah. But yeah, I found a decent amount of the photos, and you can really kind of see through my eyes what was happening, and see this sort of, beautiful mountain view, but this, this dark spot way out in the middle of nowhere, and then slowly and slowly you can see the wall of the storm move ever closer to the road and then overtake, and then everything becomes snowy and icy, and the car becomes covered in ice, and despite going highway speeds up until the point where it was not safe anymore, but I was still able to get these like nearly like 8-inch long icicles on my car. So it was absolutely insane. One of the craziest road trip experiences in my life. And yeah, I stumbled upon a lot of the old photos that I was taking. A few times that I stopped along the way at a few really cool rest areas and took some photos of some really amazing views. And yeah, I mean, just an incredible trip. And so yeah, I was looking forward to kind of sharing some of those photos with you guys. So we'll see how it goes tonight, and kind of see what conclusion we can come to. Yeah, absolutely, I agree. Yeah, I think it's incredibly complicated right now. But knowing that I can do it safely, I think it also makes it interesting, though, too. I think that's the one, if trying to get one good thing out of a bad situation, it's that often bad travel situations make good travel videos. It sucks to have a breakdown, but breakdowns make good videos. It unexpected, difficult travel, um, is gonna be good content. So, as long as I'm staying safe and not making anybody else unsafe, then maybe going the path of most resistance is actually the right way to go, because I'll have a unique experience and unique times in a place that some of the, well, at least parts of this place that I have not been to or filmed at before. Especially Upper Peninsula stuff. I've been to the Upper Peninsula before myself, but I've also never filmed there. And it's been quite a few years since I've crossed the old bridge up there, and I think it's definitely time to go back for sure. And especially with some of the new ventures that I'm trying to get into here, with more like I said, full-on road trip style, not just 30 seconds of travel or a minute or two or even 5 minutes, just sort of the full experience, and challenging routes, really making it about trying to do things in a unique way and travel in a unique way. And like I was saying, if you want to, kind of a good example of that, you can check out, some of there's a lot of road trip series that are great, but Long Way Round was a pretty good one that sort of I would say that very loosely kind of goes what I'm going for. Obviously, and where it's going to be a very very 539 twist to it. And obviously, Long Way Round is heavily produced. They had a support crew and backup cameras, and and obviously this will be just me, and as many cameras as I can strap to my car and take with me, and when I'm going out and visiting locations. So it's going to be I don't know. I obviously I try my best to make things look professional. So, it's gonna look as 539 normally does. Maybe a little bit extra. I've been still working in the background to make a few upgrades to up the quality on the channel, but I haven't really been accelerating any of those changes because of some of the difficulties that we've been experiencing recently. So, yeah, I think that'd be especially with the new series with the road actual sort of, like I said, long format road trip series. I think it'd be an interesting way to do it. Hey there, Francisca. Thanks for joining us tonight. Always good to see you. Yeah, I'm doing well. Just past the 12-hour mark on the shot. Doing good. Feeling good. So, yeah. So things are looking hopeful. Hopefully gonna be hitting the road. Like I was saying, travel might be difficult in certain areas, but yeah, it's always been kind of it's been like 90% back roads and then 10% urban areas, I guess. Like, obviously I did Toledo and I did Indianapolis, and and of course I did a lot of other stuff too that weren't big cities. Not that those are the biggest cities, and and but I do stuff in big cities from time to time. Some of it's more popular than others. Some of the mausoleum stuff obviously does quite well, and I've visited Indianapolis numerous times for that. Well, not numerous, I wouldn't say, but a few different times for that. And so, yeah. But overall, the urban stuff might be a little bit harder right now, but I think the out in the country stuff might be okay. I just have to kind of be careful with the hotel situation and kind of plan ahead. As oh. Hey there, Jimmy Tango, welcome. Good to have you, man. Thanks. Yeah, of course. Yeah. If you're enjoying the live stream, give a big thumbs up. It always helps us to get that new audience, especially these days. So yeah. But like I was saying, with the difficulty of everything, I think it could be a good thing or a bad thing right now. I think it really could make for some interesting videos, and who knows. But if I feel like I need to change the direction, then I'll do that. Obviously there's a point where it's too hard and you can't fight against a brick wall. Sometimes you gotta take opportunities that are gonna work. So we'll see how it goes. I appreciate the suggestion. Yeah, if you find the name, send it my way, and I'll be sure to check it out for sure. But it doesn't ring any bells right off the bat, so it's probably something new that I haven't heard of. I've had a few people here and there reach out. Oddly, not on YouTube. I had a fairly popular TikToker. I guess there is a fairly budding cemetery exploration community on TikTok as well, and somebody contacted me over on there, and I've had a few people hit me up on Instagram for various ideas and things. I'm not sure how many things are gonna work out. No worries. Yeah. But yeah, I appreciate it. As always, I appreciate the suggestions from anybody. I always try to read my suggestions. And I always try my best to look things up. Obviously, sometimes I probably forget. I'm sure over the course of a 5-hour long live stream, I've probably at some point forgotten to look up a location that somebody suggested, but I do make an honest effort to go out and research some of these places that people talk about, and occasionally they really do work out. And so, um, don't feel like your suggestions are falling on deaf ears. I definitely um, read through my messages. I don't obviously I don't respond 100% of the time, but if I really do feel like something is possible and would make a really good episode, then I'll look it up. I'll try and get it back a hold of you and let you know if that's something that's going to be possible. And but again, I do actually look into suggestions, and I haven't followed a lot of them. Some of them I've intended to, but they just haven't worked out for one reason or the other. Some of them I might still get to, but like I said, for one reason or another, it just has not worked out. That honestly, there's a few suggestions that might end up making up alternatives if the Lake Michigan trip doesn't work out. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, there was a few southern Indiana locations that I left undone a while ago. And depending on how the weather works out, I might be able to do that too, and that actually would be closer. It's still quite a drive, but it might be something fun to do. I know I did a lot of the. I was kind of sad back in the day at how poorly again the towers did, because I always loved climbing the old abandoned fire towers. There's a lot of them in Indiana. There's a decent amount of them throughout the country that still exist. And I found a lot of them with some amazing views from the top, and some often covered in graffiti and locks and things. And so it always, I thought, made a really interesting journey, especially some of them that were in these really crazy locations, like the one I found pretty much at the top of it. Wasn't really a mountain, I guess, because technically there's really no mountains here anymore, but there are more hilly areas of Indiana and some areas with a lot of elevation, at least comparatively to the other land around it. As some of you know that we have been to the highest point in Indiana, and it looks nothing like some of the crazy views that I've seen in southern Indiana, and so obviously that goes more on feet above sea level. So, but yeah, some of those towers in southern Indiana were just crazy, and for some reason they don't seem to do well. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the key words. I don't think the phrases are used very often, so when you try to put out a video, this is abandoned fire tower, YouTube is just like, I don't know what that is, and no one's posting videos of it. So there's probably a few others like that, but I'll probably have to be better at my titling if I ever want to try those again. But I have a couple others that are in some amazing locations. The last one I had to give up on because I got caught in a thunderstorm on a dirt road, and so I was kind of fearful that I was going to get stuck in the road, and I had to get out of there as quickly as possible. But it was a really amazing location, kind of just in the middle of nowhere again, like a few of the towers that we went to. One of them was, actually a few of them were up on the hills like that. One of them was in a park. It was a really big state park. There was almost nothing in it, though. It wasn't like a state park like you think of, like that has a lot of things like nature centers and things to. I think there actually is one there, but it's just a very lonely kind of park that's mostly just vast expanses of wilderness. And found a really amazing tower up there and climbed it and got an incredible view from the top, and it was real scary because the whole thing was shaking the entire time that you're going up, and you can literally feel it swaying back and forth. And with all the, like I said, the loose metal parts, oftentimes people put the love locks up at the top, and so as you're going up, they're clanking, and so I just felt like it made such an amazing episode, but for whatever reason, they just every single one of them bombed. So it was what kind of made me think that maybe it was the way I was titling it and the searchability of it, because it just felt like such a great episode that they were admittedly short, and the towers aren't the tallest in the world, unless again they're on the side of these hills that have amazing views themselves. But I didn't feel like it was bad in any way, and I felt like it was pretty interesting. But maybe I need to do it in a different format too. I think that would be something to think about. Some of them are closed, and then some of them are sort of climb at your own risk. So, but yeah, a lot of them you are allowed to climb as long as they're on public property. The ones that I climbed were often in state park areas. Some of them were in more lonely park areas. Like, a lot of people think of state parks and, you pull up to the little gateway and you pay your entry fee and whatnot. And some of these parks are a little bit more lonely than that. It's more like just a sign and a bunch of empty wilderness. And then there's just like a random fire tower in the middle of the woods, that a long time ago somebody used to sit up there and watch for smoke. So, yeah, some of them you are, some of them aren't. Some of them are located on private property, and so you have to ask permission. Yeah. And then there's a variety of other types of towers that are sometimes accessible as well, but not always. But, yeah, when you can actually get in and climb them, they're really interesting, and often it's an incredible trip to get to them. Kind of driving up this crazy mountainous road that, again, is kind of something that you would never assume is in the middle of Indiana. I felt like it was incredibly interesting, but some of the ones that I missed, I felt like were even better because they were just so deep in the middle of the woods, and like really this it's just a whole different part of like the state. It really is just this rugged, hilly, almost mountainous area. I mean, I really do consider it mountainous. I mean, obviously a long time ago there used to be mountains here before we had the glaciers and everything come through. So, at one point there was more kind of a hilly aspect of things like in some of these areas, and it's really neat to see. And especially you get out in these areas that up in the northern section would be more just kind of flat farmland, and there is some of that, but like it's sort of stuck in between these really wild areas, these big wilderness areas. And so you might have this little farm and a little cornfield or a grain field or something like that, and then there'll be like 5 miles of wilderness, and then there might be a few homes kind of sprinkled here and there, but like it's very wild, only dirt roads, and everything surrounding the private property is public land that you can hike on. And so it's really interesting. And there's even a few old like graveyards buried or out in the middle of the woods. One that I did release a episode on it. It was in a fail episode, and I ended up walking like 4 or 5 miles, I think, something like that, out into the wilderness. But I was starting to get scared, and for good reason. It was the same area at the same day, and the storm was starting to come in, and my car was parked on another dirt road at this small little access parking lot, where it was just enough for a few cars to park and then walk into the wilderness. And I still had miles to go until I hit the cemetery. And so I had to turn around and just go back as quickly as possible. And It was just it was a neat experience, but at the same time it's kind of horrible because like the trail was it was one of those places that's almost there are people that go there, but it is pretty rare actually. So like going there, I could tell that I was the first person there in a while because the trail was completely covered with cobwebs. So like every like I at one point I just grabbed a stick and I just continually for miles just waved the stick in front of my face because it was like I knew that I was going to run into a spider web, and often you drug the spider with you, and of course they would freak out and try to climb it and end up on top of you literally. So yes, I agree. I would love to do more of the fire towers. I don't know if they exist in every single state still, but I believe they existed in most states. Any state with a large forest area, they were used by the government to look for forest fires, and that's why they're called fire towers. Yeah, they existed anywhere that had a large enough area to a forest area to need it. So, yeah, I guess probably it would be in some certain states because if you get a desert state where you don't have you know maybe as many acres and acres. I don't know, but there's definitely a list of the ones, um, the original ones that were all built, and then the ones that still exist to this day. Um, it's getting more and more rare, but there's definitely a decent amount that are around. Oh yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be climbing any radio towers anytime soon. Um, If somebody wants to do it, I'll strap a camera to them. I was gonna actually years ago. I got an opportunity that I never got to take advantage of, unfortunately. But I had an opportunity for a while to hook up with a skydiver or a base jumper actually that did radio towers, and I was gonna film it when he base jumped from the tower, and they find the taller radio towers, which sometimes can be incredibly tall, and they climb it and jump off. And so I was kind of hoping to capture that. I think it'd be kind of a neat one. Hey there, Beaker. Welcome. Good to have you. Glad to have you here again, too. Um, yeah, I actually almost applied for a job doing that once because the equipment I was qualified to work on with my background in information technology, but um, I didn't have the proper climbing license or training or whatever was required for the job. But it was really good pay. But I've seen some of the videos, and it's just incredible. Some of these people, how how far they have to climb. Some of these towers are just huge, like I said, and so it's gonna take you a while. You're gonna climb so high that you have to take a break. So it's incredible. It's real good money if you're not afraid of heights and have climbing experience. Um, it's decent money. Right. Yeah. Yeah. The one I watched, thankfully, the guy had a double. He had a double latch system, so he could he sort of had a backup. But the crazy thing was is like I mean apparently this person had been doing it for a long time. So the person I watched he would go rungs and rungs without even latching. I doubt that nowadays that would probably be frowned upon, but like he'd sometimes just hold it and then just climb, you know, hundreds of feet up in the air, and then finally he'd latch on one, just to give himself something hang on to for a minute and rest. But it was ridiculous. Like, I think he wasn't an IT person. I think he was just the guy that changes the one I saw was the light bulb guy. But I mean, if you ever want the best paying light bulb replacement job you can ever get, then change the aircraft warning lights on the top of radio towers, and I bet you can make some great money. And all you have to do is unscrew a light bulb after you climb 1,000 feet. So, but yeah, not my thing. But yeah, I'd probably almost feel safer being the base jumper, knowing that I had a parachute. Although I know that you have to get a certain distance above the ground, otherwise, there's not enough time to pull the chute and slow down. So there's that. Hey there, Linda. Welcome. Good to have you. Yeah, the wind is what gets me too, because often when I'm watching some of these videos, and even some of the urban exploration videos, obviously one of those is one of the smaller niche categories of urban. When I wouldn't even say smaller niche, one of the popular forms of urban exploration is climbing towers and cranes, and and yeah, some of these people stand on the top of these, and it's like they do these little balancing acts because they're kind of showing off how confident they are in their own abilities and their own balance. But my thought always is that, yeah, your balance might be great, but one good gust of wind, up where there's no resistance, and you're done. Like, it doesn't matter how good balance you are. If you have a sudden 40 mile per hour or 50 mile per hour gust of wind, which is completely possible on some of these incredibly high skyscrapers and cranes, where there's literally no air resistance. And so, or I should say incredibly low resistance. But I mean, there's no way you're going to stand up to a sudden, that's like somebody walking up and just shoving you as hard as they can. So there's no way. So it kills me that some of these people, it's like, yeah, I get it. You probably are confident enough in your own abilities that in a perfect situation, you most of the time are not going to mess up and not going to fall. But again, you get that one situation, And I even watched one of the videos where somebody literally almost got severely hurt because they were running along the top of a rooftop that was essentially on a pretty high building. It wasn't like a huge skyscraper, but it was probably, I don't know. But at any rate, their balance was fine, but they missed the fact that there was this little thin wire going across, and everybody else had kind of seen it and did a little jump, and he missed it, and he hit it and tripped, and he face planted and started to slide down the rooftop. And if he would have slid really just a little bit more, he would have slid right off the roof and fallen all the way to the ground. And it's just like, again, it's not that your own abilities might, again, that really was his own abilities, because he obviously he missed that. But it's like there's these things that can happen that are just random. And even though you can trust yourself to a certain degree, you can't trust nature sometimes. So, but yeah, that's my thoughts on that. I think it's kind of interesting, but there's a lot of risk involved in being that high up on these thin little structures often. But occasionally I'll watch them. But I think that it's only a matter of time until somebody gets seriously hurt, and then stuff like that's going to be off the platform for good. Like, just wait. Just like every other genre that is died off because crazy things end up happening. that's definitely going to be one of the areas for sure. Just wait until someone gets seriously hurt falling off a building. But that's the name of the game, it seems. Take it as far as it can go until it crashes and burns, and then starts something new. And repeat. Yeah. Yeah, I've watched a few of those people that have had. I don't know if I saw that one. I watched. There was a British YouTuber that I watched some of their videos. They did certain things like that. I think they traveled to Japan in one of their videos. So I'm almost wondering if they were somehow involved in not involved in that sort of way, but just connected with those people doing that in Japan as well. 'Cause I know they had traveled all across Europe and different places doing these climbs in random high-rise buildings and all kinds of stuff. So it was, yeah, I don't know. It could have been connected in some way. I'd be interested to see, but yeah, yeah, because there are certain ways to, if you're, there's obviously a lot of professional climbers out there, and some people free climb, and I get it. I don't know. It's a weird, I don't know what my thoughts are on it. But I get kind of the same feeling with free climbing, but, there is a certain amount of personal risk that I guess you can be willing to take, but I don't know. Not really my cup of tea, I wouldn't say. But I do like the views. But yeah, it kind of just makes me nervous, though, in a lot of ways. And I've done some of the, not climbing. Obviously, I've been up on the sides of mountains and some crazy stuff, but like, the sheer drops like that, I don't think I can handle that one. That stuff. That might be where I draw the line. Yeah, it only takes one mistake. So, yeah. But like I said, it's kind of the name of the game in almost every category. You pretty much gotta go above and beyond. Things have to get crazier and crazier and crazier until they get too crazy. But I think if you find the right genre where you're, no matter how crazy you get, it's not really too crazy, then you can kind of fight against it in some ways. Like I think the road trips is one of those things. You could go down the other road and be sort of get into dangerous stuff to make it epic, but you also could go other areas to make it, above and beyond or crazier. So that's my thought. I'm not going to be climbing any skyscrapers anytime soon or any cranes. But we're definitely going to be trying to up the content for sure. What are we doing time-wise? I realize now I don't know if I can actually do longer streams forever. Once you get to a certain point, and like I was saying with the whole monetization system and algorithm system, then YouTube kind of forces you to keep stuff, not forces, you can do it, but often your video will get hidden if it's above 2 hours, or maybe it might be 3. It's either 2 hours or 3 hours. And a lot of streamers have been limiting their time to a couple hours max. But obviously we have other areas or other places to stream too, so we might be able to fix that by just doing multiple different streams on different platforms. So, oh, oh yeah, that was an old mine actually. But yeah, that was fun. I did that with my friend Xavier from the Cryptid Hunter channel. So yeah, if you've never checked out his channel, it was a great channel as well. He's still making content over there. Um, he's had a few videos come out recently. Some really cool stuff. Free climbing with the VR. Oh yeah, I've never done the free climbing ones. I've done a few of the VR roller coasters or whatever, and it was kind of interesting. But it kind of, yeah, you kind of get that sensation. But yeah, excuse me, hold on. Oh, oh, no wonder. Why is it doing that? Oh, that's frustrating. Okay. Oh, I have two mute buttons. I forgot. I have one for my system audio and one for my microphone. That's probably the discrepancy I've been having in recent live streams where I try to hit the mute button and then I don't mute. Oops. Yeah, I love the caving though. I would love to do some of the stuff that I did when I was younger because I actually have done professional caving. And so I do have experience in that. I know one of the places I've been to that I'd really love to film at because it has almost like a quarter-mile long crawl that's like a belly crawl for like a quarter-mile long where it's the tunnel is so thin that you can't actually turn your head normally or you crack your head on the ceiling. You have to wear professional gear and helmets, and I mean, it's not lit at all. There's no electricity like you see in some of the bigger, like more touristy type caves. Like, I've been to like Mammoth Cave and things like that, and that's a little bit like most of it is more touristy. Everything's well lit. You know, you're gonna have a tour guide that kind of takes you along and does like little speeches about the history of the place and who discovered it first, and and the mapping and all this. And the one I did, one of them that I did in southern Indiana was just complete. You had a guide. We had professional cavers, or what is it, spelunking, uh, um, and so we took like a 4-hour journey deep into this cave to see this crazy kind of geological phenomenon. It was called the vortex, and it was a rock formation in the middle of the cave. And at one point, the flow of the water must have created a whirlpool as it spun around from probably like a waterfall from like a river above that had crashed down into the main chamber of the cave, where it probably had just been trickling down through the rock for years, carving these caverns out. And then eventually the main brunt of the water came through the top, and there was a cave in, and then over the probably millions of years that it took to carve it formed a whirlpool below it, and it went down into this really small waterway. And I don't know where it went. We didn't go any further than that. I don't know if you can actually climb down and go down the waterway further in the cave, but we stopped there because it was like we had already been in the cave for 4.5 hours, and we had a 4.5 hour long journey back. So I thought it'd be fun to go back someday because it's been such a long time. So, but yeah, I have to remember the name of the cave, and the exact area that I was in. All I know is I was in southern Indiana, and that I had professional guides with me, but not the name, unfortunately. Although I think the landmark, the vortex, would be one that I could look up. So I think that'll be easier to find. Oh yeah, yeah. The drains can be dangerous for sure. And just like caves and mines, you can also run into low oxygen environments. So you gotta be careful. It's always smart to carry some sort of oxygen meter with you to make sure the air you're breathing is safe. And in certain situations, having a backup supply of oxygen is essential. If I could, yeah, possibly. If I could find the name of it again and book a guide. But yeah, it could be interesting. It could be, yeah, that could be a hard one. I don't know. We'll see. That's gonna take some serious research. No, I shouldn't say serious research. It's not terrible, but I think it'd be really neat. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm trying to keep things diverse and different and go to these crazy places. We'll see how it works, like I said. But we'll just have to start that new channel. And then we'll just dedicate the current 539 to the stuff that works, like I said. But yeah, it's definitely a possibility. I don't know if it's something I'm going to be able to plan in the next few weeks. Um, it's kind of last minute, and I would have to get proper clothes and helmets. Well, a helmet. Um, I don't even remember how I got one last time. I know I had to provide my own lighting. I don't remember if I had to provide my own helmet or if somebody brought those. So, um, but yeah, it'd be something definitely to try and plan out. But yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be a alternative to the Lake Michigan trip. I think that it might be a little bit too much to sort of pull off in that time frame. But definitely something for maybe further on this year, maybe. We'll see. Um, like I said, I had so many backed up plans from 2020 that, I really want to get as much of that completed as possible. So, obviously that was one of them. And then the Island series was the other one. So, we'll see. It's just kind of it's a weird, kind of a weird balance right now because I'm trying to balance the travel also with the possibility of creating a few new channels to make the content work better. So we'll see how that goes. Graveyard Junk. I think I've heard that name before. I've never seen it. I'll look that up. Yeah, I'm always looking for people to collaborate with. Yeah, it's definitely a possibility for sure. Matt above What is it? Oh, sorry, my glasses are on. Above and underground. There we go. Who knows? We will certainly see. Um, hmm? I think I'm getting notifications on my phone, but I can't tell. How long have we been going? I think we're about at the break time because, as some of you may be able to tell, I probably could use a drink right about now. I've been talking for way too long, and I'm getting dry mouth. So, what are we at? Are we at a good point? Okay, I'm not gonna wait another 20 minutes. Hey there, Mary. Welcome. Good to have you here. So yeah, we'll take a break here in a few minutes. I'm hanging around for just a minute here, but so yeah, to recap, we hit our 12-hour mark about an hour ago on the old second dose of the Moderna, and so looking forward to that 14-day period. After that, we'll be hitting the road again, hitting some ink again, maybe getting a piercing redone that I had for years that I unfortunately lost. And so, yeah, it looks like good things ahead. We'll see how it goes, though. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm struggling tonight because I really have no plan. But, yeah, like I said, there'll be a new 539 episode. It should be out Saturday evening sometime. I do have some editing left to get done on that, but I don't think it's going to be too incredibly hard. But I think it's going to be a pretty interesting episode. Kind of got a little bit into another kind of mystery. It's probably something I can figure out, and I might be getting in contact with somebody to figure out just that, as well as get some access to a particular historic location that I think would be really interesting to get into, and apparently there's a way to do that, and so we'll be sort of discussing that in the video, and also going over some of the other mysteries that are present in that location. And it is a location that we had been to once before, but I don't know that we really went this in depth. I kind of tried to we revisited a few things that we had seen before, but I tried to really keep the content very unique. So even though it is technically a return, it's also not the same episode. So it's not like you're going to be seeing the same exact things over and over. But again, it's been probably a while since I've been there. I don't think it's been super long, but I would say, I don't even know, a year and a half, maybe 2 years at the max. I don't know. I need to look up and see if I can find the old video. Well, welcome to the early gang for the UK, and the late gang for the US, and the in the middle gang for, I guess, anybody else. I don't really know where everybody's sitting at. But yeah, super early here. It is 1:30 a.m. right here, so we're just hitting the morning over in the Eastern time zone here in the US. So I know some of us are still in good old Friday, but as for me, we just hit Saturday. And so I'm going to have to finish up some editing here and get that video uploaded for all of you. 6:32. So it is a early Saturday morning for you. 7:30 for Francisca. Yeah, appreciate you guys being up with me. I don't know, maybe you guys are normally early rising people. As for me, I'm a late nighter, so I don't usually get up until, you know, early afternoon, something like that, and then I stay up later working on editing and doing live streams and doing stuff like that. So, um, yeah. But much respect for the morning people out there. I know that it's a good way to be and a productive way to be in some aspects. Nope, not in Cali, not yet. So, we're doing the time traveling stream for a little bit here. Oh, yeah. I've worked nights before. Um, it was okay for a while. I didn't mind it for a while, but it wasn't a good permanent solution for me, for sure. Yeah, sorry to hear about the sleep issues. Yeah, happy to be a distraction for you, something to do while you're dealing with all that. But yeah, hopefully all that gets sorted. But always welcome. So, but yeah, I'm positive my sleep was very negatively, well, not positive, I know my sleep was very negatively affected over the last year. But I've always been kind of a late night person anyway. I definitely took it to extremes though, for sure. Um, Often being up to 8 or 9 in the morning. Um, so it's become more and more of an issue. Uh, Especially, when there's not a lot of daylight out during those parts of the year, it makes it increasingly difficult to get anything done. But again, it's been something going on one way or another for most of my life. I've always been a late night person, always enjoyed staying up late, and so I've always had to figure out ways to sort of work around the lack of daylight hours for myself. Yeah, that sucks, man. I feel for you. Yeah, sometimes there's no real cure to the problem, and unfortunately, it's just a matter of finding the best possible method of dealing with it, I guess. But yeah, sorry to hear that. Yeah, I'm definitely not a morning person. Although, looking at some more scientific information, yeah, most people are not morning people. Like, and in fact, like, learning is impaired during morning hours because people's minds are not fully awake and functioning to the fullest of their to the most of their capabilities. Um, and so it's really sort of I mean, obviously there are a certain amount of people out there who are the minority that are capable of doing it, but for the most part, like, this idea that like school should start early and work should start early, it actually has a negative effect on productivity. People are not very productive really early in the morning. um I think from what I was reading from the study, the ideal time for, like, work and, like, school to begin for, like, the majority of people would be, like, somewhere like around 10 a.m. I think, if I remember correctly. It's been a long time since I've looked at it, but yeah, like, and it sort of shows, though. It's not like it's really a secret. Most people complain when they have to get up early in the morning to go places, and then there's that occasional person that loves it. So I think it's just one of those things that we've been programmed to believe, that somehow you're better person if you're capable of waking up early and doing hard work, starting out at a earlier time. And I probably evolved from a time that we actually relied on daylight um, more than we do now. Yeah, well, oddly, I mean, I've heard a lot of good things about that whole kind of sleep structure. The idea of taking a nap in the middle of the day often, from what I understand, increases productivity. I know certain places around the world swear by it. Places like Spain and whatnot, where the idea of like quitting work in the middle of the day and going home and relaxing or taking a nap and then coming back and going back to work and then staying out later and doing more things. It's sort of it's like it gives them that boost of energy. It's like something that sort of that like, idea of becoming more than the sum of its parts. That just by taking that nap, it's like it gives them the ability to stay up even longer and to get even less regular sleep. And I think there was even a famous I forget. There was a famous scientist that did it too. He would like. I think there was one that did like a weird sleep schedule. They got themselves all the way down to like taking like I don't think it was successful, but they tried to take like a 10 to 15 minute nap once every hour or something crazy like that. But for a while, they also tried the 4 hours on, 4 hours off, I think, and had some success with that. But then, of course, there are some people out there that have claimed success only sleeping 4 hours a night, period. So I don't know. It might just be sort of different for each person. And well, I guarantee it is to a certain extent. But yeah, siesta time. So yeah, and I think that that's a really interesting idea. And I'm sure that people there are biased. So hearing their claims that it makes it way more, efficient and productivity is on an all-time high. Maybe it is in certain cases, maybe it isn't, but like overall, I think it makes sense. It just breaks in general obviously makes sense. You're gonna work harder if you can occasionally rest. So that idea of like going home in the middle of the day for a few hours and then coming back I think that's an interesting concept. But yeah, I think over here our motto is usually just do as much as you can and the amount of time that you have, and then in one big chunk, and then go home for the night. Yeah, whatever works. If you find that the white noise machines and meditation are what solves it, I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm a big proponent of science and even medical science, but if you can keep yourself off a drug or find that there's a natural solution that works better, then yeah, you definitely want to use that method. But yeah, sometimes it's not really a matter of what works better, but what works, period. So yeah. Yeah, I always like the white noise as well. Personally, I always sleep with some sort of noise, either a fan or television of some sort. I find it way harder to go to sleep with no noise whatsoever because I'm almost distracted by the smaller noises. It's like the presence of a constant low level of noise sort of blocks out those random noises that might make you think something's happening that's not. You hear a random creak in the house, and you're wondering, did someone knock at the door? Is someone moving about? And things like that. It kind of, I feel like it eliminates that and helps me to relax. So yeah, absolutely. I love the white noise. But usually for me, it's just a fan. I haven't found anything else that works any better. I'd like to sort of maybe eventually get it down to like a noise generator that does it, but at the same time, I like the airflow too, and I think it's real healthy. One of the worst things about being indoors is the quality of air often is way worse, and so having that air movement sort of has a dual effect by having the air rush over the plants and keep everything fresh, but at the same time it's also maintaining that level of constant background noise that just makes things comfortable. And I find that I don't even like during the day I prefer it. Like even if I'm like watching TV, I would rather have some like a fan on in the background, even if I have to turn the TV up a little bit more, because I just find it to be, there's just something about that constant noise, and I think it really is because, as a natural, in a natural environment where you're not living in a man-made shelter, you're living in something closer to nature. It is very odd to have silence. Silence is not a normal thing. Nature is very loud. And I think that it's just not a normal human thing to experience silence. And so I think that's why it's very comforting to have some level of white noise for many people, because it really is. It's just not, if you were outside, you would have constant white noise. If you were sleeping in, outdoors in the middle of summer, if you're, especially, all my campers out there know, it's loud. The crickets are going, the cicadas are going, all the frogs are going. There's so many noises. And I think that certainly we evolved some level of comfort from that over time, or at least the awkwardness of it suddenly being gone. Maybe it's really the lack of something that's actually the greater factor in that. But this year is obviously supposed to be incredibly loud, so we'll have to see what it's like outside this year with the Brood X, or Brood 10, I think is technically what it is, but of the cicadas coming out. It should be just starting right around now. I haven't seen any swarms personally, but it's supposed to be here pretty soon, and so for a few weeks here, we should have some very, very loud nights. At least if you have your windows open, or I don't know, depending on how soundproof your house is. I don't really know. I'm not really sure what's going to happen. Yeah, I think that, yeah, that's the thing too. That's one of the reasons I like to put on like a television show or something at a real low level, and I'll turn the brightness on the screen way down so it's not really, wearing on my eyes or anything. But it's like that idea that, in the back of your head, you're sort of just listening to the television show and sort of visualizing in your mind this thing that you've probably already seen 1,000 times, and so it sort of is almost meditative in a way that it, allows you to drift off to sleep while still, or while not like having the random thoughts or hearing the random noises that often are distractions that keep you from falling asleep. So yeah, absolutely. Big fan. Yeah. Yeah, that's the idea. Um, and the idea with the fans, especially because of the way sound works, um, you have kind of interference patterns. I believe there is what is the proper term, and so it's like the act of having this noise on makes other sounds quieter. Like if I if I have like a fan going um in the command center here, and then I have like music playing, um I can hear the music less, as if it's lower volume, not because it's muffled, but as if it's lower volume when the fan is on than when it's off. So if I go outside and close the door and I have the fan off, I can kind of make out what the voices are saying. But often if I just turn the fan on, then I can't hear the voices at all. It's as if it's a completely lower volume, and some of that is because it is muffling it out. But some of it also is the way that sound works and the way those waves interact with each other, and cause that interference. And so that's the way a lot of headphones work. Noise dampening headphones. Some of them aren't using super soundproof material. They're actually playing an inverted version of the sounds in the outside world, and by doing that, it creates this interference pattern, and literally eliminates that sound. And so it is another way to soundproof without actually having soundproofing material. So you can soundproof with sound. So, something interesting to look up, which can lead you down many, many YouTube rabbit holes. Interference patterns offer some crazy insights into the universe. So, it's a fun one. Not always with sound, but I mean in other areas like light. The idea of a interference pattern with light means way more. Anyway, that's a science topic for another day. But yeah, where are we at now? I think I passed the amount of time that I said I wasn't going to wait on. So we just passed the 2-hour mark. So I'm going to take a quick break here. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I used to have fish back in the day too. Not recently, but when I was young, when I was a kid, I definitely had a few fish tanks. And yeah, absolutely. The lighting is nice too, because it's like a nice soft glow. And obviously, some tanks you turn off at night, so you probably aren't supposed to be keeping the lights on. Otherwise, the fish gets off of their cycle too. But yeah, I think that one definitely works as well. Pumps. It's a different type of fan essentially. Yeah, so you get that same sort of buffeting sound. But yeah. Yep, absolutely. I think I'm gonna take that break here, grab a quick drink, and I'll be back here shortly. I'm not gonna try and take as long of a break this time. I know last stream I accidentally took like a 15-20 minute long break, because I was working on a few things and getting stuff set up, because we did some of the plant stuff. I think that was last time, right? We did or was that was the time before, wasn't it? Yeah. We did the hot wax treatment to the Lucky Bamboo. But no worries, Mary. That's perfect timing. So, Yeah, I'll catch you guys all after the break. I'll be back here somewhere between 5 to 10, but hopefully more on the 5 side of things. But I'm going to run and grab a drink, and then I'll be back shortly. I'll see you here in a little bit. All right. Welcome back, everybody. Yeah, and I don't even know why I say that. I'm really the one that's back. Anybody that's here are the ones that stayed, so maybe I need to think of another line to use. I don't know. I'm not trying to make it that pro. Alright, let me see what I've missed here. So, anyway, thank you all for sticking around. I know it's getting kind of late here, but we're on the weekend, so I know there's some people down to hang out kind of late. So, we'll go for a little while longer here. But, alright. I think we're good on messages. Doesn't look like I missed too much. Oh yeah, I was gonna show my new arrowhead here, my new Syngonium that I got recently. I only got it because I never seen one that color. I don't even know how well this is even gonna show up, to be honest. This is the new Syngonium. Let's see if I can find. You can kind of see it there on the top. Let's see if I can get it to focus. I can pull it in front of my face. There we go. So a lot of the leaves have this kind of, it's way more pronounced in person. It's probably because of some of the color lighting. But the leaves have this kind of pronounced pink and brownish tones to it. And so it was really unique. And it'll get pretty big. And it grows similarly to pothos and philodendron. And in fact, sometimes they're grown together. So, but yeah, I found this one randomly on one of my encounters at a non-plant specialty store. And occasionally you can find some stuff that's not super rare, but also not your average. You know, they've had Syngoniums in for weeks now. Most of them are your more light green, which are great variety as well. But as I've been saying, I've been trying to recently kind of avoid the green and go towards more towards the alternative colors to sort of fill in the place with some more color. I have a lot of green plants and some pretty big ones. I've got giant ferns and monstera and lots of pothos and philodendron, and so I felt like it was kind of time to move into the different assorted colors. I've been looking for some colored pothos as well, but so far I haven't really seen a whole lot of good selection. It looks like the yellow pothos are starting to come in. I've got literally tons of those. I think most of them have been cloned from plants going back over 30 years. And so, excuse me. Yeah, it's something I have way too much of that I don't need to buy any more of, because I can make endless supplies of them. There are huge plants that have come from these clippings behind me here. You can't really see you can kind of see the pothos there, but all those pothos are clones from plants between 10 to 30 years old, I guess. So yeah, I have endless supplies of those, and I've taken cuttings off of those and made several plants for people. For my mom, I made a couple, and I made even some of the silver pothos back there, which actually grow better over there because that's a south-facing window, and here at the command center, this right over here is a west-facing window, and so it gets a little bit harsher of light, and so it's not exactly the best, especially with the current layout. It's not exactly the best for certain varieties of pothos. The yellow pothos, for whatever reason, love it though. I don't know why. Are plants expensive in the U.S.? Um, it depends on what the plant is and where you are. Plant markets in the U.S. are so different. I was even watching a video today talking about how expensive what is it string of pearls, which is a succulent that looks kind of like little green peas or pearls that are hanging, uh, um, and here they're incredibly cheap. They're really cool plants, but you can get them for a nice big plant for like $6-7, maybe $10. And for the same size plant that I had recently seen for $10, they were saying it was like a $50 plant in like New York or something like that at a lot of these shops. And this was not a big brand store that I was at. I was at a small locally owned plant place, and it was real cheap there. But in other states, in certain markets, there's a big markup because they just don't get the supply. And I guess it just depends, sort of where the plant originates from, how far it has to travel. So if it's a South American plant, it's obviously going to be a lot cheaper to get it to Texas than it is to get it to like New York, because it's such a big country. So that probably is what affects the prices a lot. But markets here are so vastly different. So, I mean, the prices fluctuate that way everywhere. Like even like homes, like the same size house that would cost like $400,000 here would be like well over $1 million in California. It's just weird. Yeah, there's a huge change between different areas and pricing and whatnot. But again, it probably just more because we're such a big place. Yeah. So it depends. Yeah, if you get locally grown stuff, then it's often going to be cheaper and in good supply. We have some level of exotic plants that grow in the U.S. That are popular in other areas that were probably way more expensive. I'm sure like something like a Venus flytrap would probably be pretty expensive in a lot of European countries because they are a variety of plant that grow in a specific region of the United States. And so, I'm sure that while I can go and get like a cheap $5 plant, something like that might be rather rare in certain areas. That something like that might, I don't know, it might have caught on enough in in the sort of the plant vernacular or whatever. I don't know. No, that's the wrong term, but the plant community. But I don't know. But yeah, certain plants, it really just depends on how far you are from them. So, but yeah, but we do have ours that we ship other places as well. There's definitely some. Florida is definitely one. Southern California and the more deserty areas, obviously, are, a lot of the cactus supply from around the world is going to come from areas like that. So we definitely have our fair share of exports as well. But yeah, living in certain Southern or South American or Central American countries, yeah, you probably would get easier access to certain tropical varieties. But then again, if you're living in that area and that's normal for you, you probably do want to ship something in that's maybe native to, a northern country. We all kind of are looking for something different, especially when it comes to home decoration. I think we often look for something that we don't see normally. But then again, there's a lot of great local stuff as well. So it's something that everybody should look into as well, because I think often, especially as Americans, we walk into a plant store, we're looking for something that we would consider to be something tropical or something like that, where there are plenty of great plants that grow not too far away. One plant for 2,000 euro. That's super expensive. Um, yeah, I was in a plant shop not too long ago that had some fairly expensive ones like that. Um, there were a couple, even the smaller varieties of the pothos, the more rare pothos, that were about $60 for a 2-leaf plant. And then if you got any bigger ones, you were talking anywhere from, couple hundred on up. So yeah, yeah, we definitely have some of the expensive ones, or some of the rare varieties, but again, it's one of those things that's so different depending on where you go, that um, a 2,000 euro or dollar plant, here, would be a completely different plant. It would be probably a cheap plant, where you are. So yeah, I think that's just the way it goes, though. If it's rare in your area, it's going to be expensive. If not, it's going to be cheap. So yeah, but I'm not really in it for the rare thing, to be honest. I just like the look of certain things. I did at one time have some interest in getting more rare things, and I still do, to a certain degree, but not a lot. Like, there's a few philodendrons that I would like to get a hold of, just because they're super rare and interesting looking as well. Similar to like the pink princess, which, as far as I know, is still fairly rare. It's probably not quite as rare, as expensive as it used to be, now that it's taken off. And the more plants that people purchase, the more cuttings they can make and clones of that plant that they can make. And philodendrons being fairly easy to propagate like that, like I said, I do it all the time in water. And I've made a bunch of plants, all from one or two originals, and so I'd still like to get a hold of one, though, just to be able to say that I had it. And on top of that, like I said, I actually enjoy the looks of the plant too. It's a very unique color, and that's really what attracts me at the end of the day. But as of yet, I know somebody I can get it from, but it's very rare. Actually, I need to check in with them, because this is, I believe, the time of the year that they do cuttings. And it was actually the first person ever that I officially found out that they not only had them, but they actively sold them. So I'm going to try and pick up a cutting from that person at some point here in the next few months, if they're doing it. They said they usually do about 10 cuttings every spring, so it should be right around the right time. Obviously being spring, but I mean, for some plants, obviously being a tropical plant, spring can mean different things to different plants. So there's not exactly a spring in the jungle. So yeah, it's something I need to look into, because I might be able to finally pick up that little bit rare, more expensive variety of the philodendron. Although that changes every year too. There's all kinds of rare ones, and sometimes new ones. They're always developing new types of species through crossbreeding and whatnot. So yeah, I would love to have a 50-year-old cactus. That would be cool. Mine aren't quite that old yet, but I'm working on it. But yeah, I'm really loving the cactus. I wasn't when I first got into the plants. I really wasn't thinking I was gonna ever get into cactus, and then I really liked it. And then the same thing with the air plants. But I think it was because the industry does kind of a poor job at promoting some things. I think would be more popular if people even knew that they exist. Because when I always thought of air plants, I always thought of the one variety that they always have, which aren't bad, but to me it wasn't as appealing. And when I saw the one that I have now, I immediately liked it, and it was about the right size, and obviously it'll get bigger, and yeah, and it's one that apparently, if it's the one that I'm thinking it is, but if it's not, it's not a big deal. But if it is, then it should, once transplanted onto the right growing medium, it should grow significantly quicker than the average. Well, not the average, but than on the wrong medium, because often, from what I understand, again, I'm no expert. From the few videos that I've watched from actual experts, which is a decent amount of videos I've been watching over the last few days, and from what I understand, that they certain ones want to grow on like certain types of medium. Certain ones that want to grow on stone. Certain ones want to grow on like more like a woody type of medium. And depending on the that they will grow at different rates. And so often they are planted on the wrong medium apparently. And so most of the ones that you buy in stores, because people tend to keep it on the thing that they bought it on, they typically get seen as incredibly slow growing plants, even though they're not necessarily that. It's because that person might not ever actually know that they're a quick growing plant, and they'll never try to change the surface that they're on, and so the plant will naturally just grow slowly. So it's one of those cases where you don't know what you have until you've researched it a little bit more. So yeah, I was glad I stumbled upon that specific video. Otherwise, I would have really never known that I could have affected the. I mean, obviously from other types of plants, but a lot of the information on air plants that you end up finding. Some of the obviously the YouTube videos are very in depth, but when you read tags and stuff, it's always just very basic information that doesn't really tell you much about. Does it grow fast? What kind of soil does it like? It's just pretty much, okay, missed it, and then you don't realize that you have a plant capable of growing quickly, capable of blooming, of having crazy awesome flowers, and I think this one blooms as far as I know, and it can get pretty big. I mean, air plants can really grow quite a bit, so I'm kind of interested to see how quickly I can get it to get huge. I mean, it's not going to get super big, I don't think, but they are smaller plants that grow on top of other plants, so sort of like the Easter cactus. I believe it's Easter cactus that I have. It will grow in crevices or in the cracks of trees or things like that, and so that's why air plants have small to almost non-existent roots sometimes. So oh yeah, it's always good to save one that's gonna get thrown away for sure. That's why one of the reasons I always like to shop the clearance rack, because a lot of times you find these really amazing plants that really just need a little bit of care to bring them back from the brink of death. And a lot of my plants that I've gotten have been pretty sickly or had a lot of dying leaves, and Um, and I've always kind of steered towards that. And so, yeah, it's a lot of fun though. But especially if you have the older plants where sometimes people just get frustrated with them and don't know what to do with them anymore. And so, to be able to save something like that and then continue growing it where it's already had a chance to get a decent size. Yeah, I think that's a pretty cool thing to do. So, yeah. If I ever get the chance, I've never gotten that sort of plant offered to me before. Thank you. I'm not definitely not perfect. I've lost my fair share, but I'm learning and I'm getting better, and I'm upgrading my equipment to support what I've got. So, and that's the main thing. I think it's the main problem with a lot of plants, and why people kind of have bad luck with them is because a lot of times we find an area that we would like a plant to be, and unfortunately it's not that simple. Some plants just don't like to be there, and so as hard as you try, unless you have extra equipment like grow lights and things like that, you're not gonna be able to force a plant to be in an area that it's not fit to grow in. And so, yeah, I've slowly gotten better, and I have a lot of real healthy plants now. But even now, I'm still learning, and a lot of it I don't know. And there's certain areas where I'm still lost and sort of just adrift. But I'm trying for sure. But it's definitely getting a lot easier. It's like the cooking. There definitely were times that I attempted to do things that I failed at, and then over time I got better and better to the point where I'm capable of taking just excuse me. But anyway, I'm capable of taking a basic recipe now, and a lot of times anyway, not all the time, but take a basic recipe and kind of know which flavors and spices work together to add in something more, or when to throw a bit of alcohol in it and flambe it, or when to deglaze the pan and turn something into a sauce or something like that. It's getting easier. I'm definitely no chef, but I'm getting better at cooking for sure. But yeah, in the same way, I'm working with the plants. And these aren't the only ones that I work with either. I've got tons of vegetables and herbs planted over at my parents' garden. So we got turnips coming up, and tomato seedlings and peppers that have all been grown from seed. Some of them haven't, actually. So a lot of them have. I think we got about, I think, I've probably going around 20 tomato plants that have been grown from seed, and like, I don't know how many peppers, and then a bunch of mystery flowers from seeds that were found over random areas, and a couple different varieties of squash. There's like butternut squash and zucchini and yellow squash, I think, and I don't know. And then I had dill that I planted out there last year that's coming back up. Thankfully, I didn't think it was going to come back up at all, but got enough seeds out there at the right time. I thought all the seeds had gotten out too early, and it sprouted before the winter and had then died off. But apparently some of the seeds managed to not sprout and survive till spring. So that's coming up, and so we should have a constant population of naturally occurring dill from here on out, as well as mint, chive, oregano, thyme. Or wait, not oregano, but the thyme survived the winter. The mint survived the winter. The rosemary did not survive the winter, but I don't know why. I thought it would. It survived all the way up until like the last few weeks. It was green and the plant was healthy. Even in the snow, it still had green on it, and but like a couple weeks before spring, it just killed it. So I don't know what happened. But like I said, the thyme and the mint survived just fine, and the dill. So we got that coming. So that'll be interesting because the dill is pretty prolific in terms of it grows real big and then it turns to seed. And so what I'm going to do is let the first crop go to seed. You can still harvest a lot of the dill and get a decent amount off of it, but if you prevent it from going to flower and seed, you can often get more. But if I don't the first time around, I can allow it to spread its seeds and grow amongst the other plants, and so there'll be a big, huge population of it spread out across the area, and among other things that it's going to look pretty cool with, and as well as produce a ton. And it lasted for a while just on the couple plants that I had the first go round, and I was able to dry a lot of it out and save it for winter, and it lasted for quite a long time. And I'm trying to get a basil that will survive too, but it's only certain ones will survive the winter. And I've heard it's the more woody varieties, which oddly I've heard that Thai basil will survive the winter. I don't know if that's true or not. They say it has a woodier stem and often could survive, but obviously I don't feel like, I don't know. I really don't know about the variety. Oh, sorry, I'm missing a few things. Oops, sorry. Hey there, Dan. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, same here. I had a mildly sore arm, but it was actually less sore than it was the first time. So that was it. And then mildly tired, but like I was saying earlier in the stream, I really think that was more me and my late night habits than it really was the shot. So good news there. But yeah, happy for you too. That's it's a step back towards normal. So I'm happy to get back on the road. Welcome back. Oh yeah, it's fun to do the different varieties. A lot of peppers will also change too. So like we have serranos planted right now, and they'll be green when they first sprout. When sprout's the wrong term, but you know what I mean. But and then eventually they'll mature and they'll turn red, and they'll have a slightly different flavor and different amount of heat. And lots of peppers can do that, including I believe I don't know if it's certain varieties of jalapenos or if it's all jalapenos, because I couldn't get jalapenos to turn red, but I know that there are red. But usually with the peppers, they'll start out green and then they'll change to the color that they're going to. But I don't think it's like that in all varieties. Like I think bell peppers, it's not like that. Because there's like yellow bells and yellow, green, red, I think white, orange. Like there's all kinds of them. So hey there, Ian. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us tonight. So yeah, I was gonna try and make. I wanted at some point to try and make homemade chipotle, which is a process in which you take red jalapenos and then smoke them and mix them in with like a sauce made out of another pepper called adobo. I think that's another pepper, if I'm correct. I don't know much about it, but yeah, I wanted to try doing that because I thought that'd be kind of fun, little process of making my own chipotle. So we'll see. We'll see how things go. I know a little bit more coming into it than I did before, so I'm hopeful that maybe I'll do a little bit better and get more to work with this time around, be able to experiment around. So, it's kind of, it wasn't as big of a crop as what I'm hopefully expecting this time around, and I'm thinking that I'll have a few more to experiment with. But yeah, the last time I was kind of, I just want to get as many as possible and be able to use them and enjoy them. Good to still have you, Agnes. Glad you're hanging in there, even though it's getting late. But I am gonna, like I said, attempt to do a few more streams at an earlier time too. I was gonna do it today, but I was just kind of again focusing on taking it easy. But I probably could have done it, honestly. Next time though. Well, assuming there is the next time, but it's looking that way. Thankfully, that's at least a good 6 months to a year down the line. So I'm looking forward to the wait, because I'd rather not be getting one every month. Oh yeah, in terms of clearing the sinuses and whatnot, for sure. But yeah, it just depends on what pepper you get, and the serranos are kind of hot. They'll do it for sure if you, especially if you eat it raw. But yeah, there's definitely some hotter peppers out there. But I'd love to experiment around with making some. I've done hot sauce a couple times, not just salsa, but actually hot sauce. I know there's a different varieties and different, obviously tons of different peppers, but there's also different styles of salsa, or not salsa, but hot sauce as well. Which is really, honestly, that's all salsa means anyways, is sauce. But but they aren't the same thing. But I would love to work a little bit more with that and try to make some more varieties. I've been wanting to get a hold of some banana peppers as well, because I think they have a real great flavor to them, especially to mix with other peppers. If you're getting like a serrano, is pretty much all heat. There's not a heck of a lot of flavor to them. Whereas like jalapenos are not quite as hot, but they have more flavor. And then something like habanero has like a real sweet flavor, but then it's like super hot. So depending on what you get, you have more or less flavor and then more or less heat. So, and typically at least, the larger the pepper, the less heat, from my experience anyway. If you get really small peppers, they're probably going to be super hot. And if you get a gigantic, poblano, it's going to be mild and have a lot of flavor. Hey there, Kenneth. Welcome to the live stream. Yeah. I actually saw a guy that did a video the other day on making ketchup out of peppers, because peppers and tomatoes are related. I don't know how distantly, but they are related. Um, and you can make ketchup out of a lot of things. It's it's crazy. Like if you look up alternative ketchup recipes, like that actually taste like ketchup, you can even make it. I believe there's even a banana ketchup that tastes like ketchup. It's not. I'm sure it probably has a hint. Thank you, Kenneth. Appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know how well it's gonna do. Like I said, the first time that I released it a couple of years ago, when I released it in 3 different parts, it did so. I haven't checked on it recently to see, but yeah, I'm hoping that it does okay. But I don't have a lot of. I think it'll do all right, but um, I don't have a lot of faith that it's gonna get the type of views that I think it deserves. You know, I think if that was my only focus, if I had never done like the cemetery and graveyard stuff, um, that I probably would have gotten a lot more views on it originally. But at that time, the views were just heading towards the cemeteries. Um, so yeah, I'm not sure how well it's gonna do this time, but I figured I'd try it again, and then, like I said, it'll be a good indicator of whether or not this road trip series will do well, or whether we'll just move it to a brand new channel. So we'll see how that goes. I haven't had a lot of experience with drones, just very basic. I do want one. I actually tried to buy one once, but they they literally screwed up my credit card. Not my credit card. They claimed my card bounced, but it didn't. It was their system that bounced because I literally was like, okay, well then I'll go buy a camera somewhere else, and so I went and bought my G7, or was that when I bought my M50? So I was just I was gonna buy the DJI Mavic One when it first came out, and yeah, I went on the site and um got all the way to the checkout, typed everything in, hit the go button, and it said, I forget what it said because it was ridiculous because it wasn't like we're having problems processing your card. They pretty much made a claim like, hey, no, sorry, your card's bouncing. You must not have enough money on your account or something. And so I was just like, all right, well, I guess you don't want my money then. And so I just dropped the money on a brand new camera instead of getting the drone. But yeah, I do want a drone, and I will get one at a certain point. I've been looking at the smaller ones because after a certain weight rating, you don't have to get licensed by the FAA. So right now, with current laws, if they're over, I forget, like it's like half a pound or something. If they're over like half a pound or a certain amount of ounces or something, then you have to take a test and get FAA cleared, and then you're supposed to well, obviously you're forced to abide by certain no-fly zones because it's built into the drone software. But then there's also areas where you can fly, but you're advised to notify the FAA beforehand. And then certain drones you can even enter in. I don't know how they do it, but you can get clearance in certain areas that are technically no-fly areas, and they'll clear the drone for. I don't know how they do that though. It might fly no matter what, but you're just supposed to call. I don't know, but yeah, I want to get one at some point, but I'm probably gonna be looking for something smaller. Um, I don't know. It just depends on how useful it is to me. Because I would like one of the bigger ones, one of the faster ones, because I would love to do some moving shots with the vehicles to be able to actually capture the sort of panoramic, further away shots of traveling, and this something like that is a lot easier on something with more power and more speed. So some of these bigger level DJI drones that I was looking at have like a max speed of like at least they claim like I think the one had like a claimed top turbo speed of like 70 miles an hour. I don't think it could do it for very long, but um, to be able to utilize that and be able to film the car and actually have it, you know, um, intelligently following the car while I'm paying attention to driving and being safe, it is a huge benefit and would really increase the production value of the channel for sure. But at this point, I just, again, with like I was saying, and I won't get into the long version, but with the current issues with the notifications and the algorithm, it's unfortunately just for me personally not worth it. It's like I'm spending potentially up to a couple $1,000s on a amazing piece of equipment that'll up the production value on a channel that's just not getting promoted to anyone whatsoever, even half the time my viewers. Like I was saying, like there's literally people that come up to me and ask me, they're like, "Where'd you go? I haven't seen any videos from you in a couple of years." It's like I literally never went anywhere. YouTube is just not telling you about my videos. So yeah, it kind of puts things into perspective for me. It's like, do I really want to dump $1,000 investment into something that is not going to help me? Where I could say dump $1,000 into advertising and actually get some decent results, maybe. So, but at a certain point, yeah, I'll definitely be getting a drone. I'm just not sure when. Well, I did the bigger explanation just a little bit ago in the last stream, but to make a long story short, if if cemeteries are the only thing that's going to be working on 539, then I'm going to limit the 539 channel to only cemeteries, because the way it's working right now, it's anything that's not a cemetery um, just doesn't get promoted to anyone. And especially if it's like a nature or if it's an off-topic video at all, it just gets trashed on by the algorithm. So if I can't release like my historic stuff, my abandoned stuff, my stuff that I also want to do, and it's just not gonna work ever, then I'm just gonna put it on a brand new channel. So it doesn't mean 539 Productions is going away. It just means it may be limited to a certain specific type of video, and then anybody that wants to see the other types of videos can go to my other channels. So, and then we'll break it down into, I'll have a road trip channel, I'll have a cemetery channel, I'll have however many channels I need to accomplish what I want to accomplish. And then maybe I'll have just a filmmaking channel at some point, where I can do my other types of projects. I'd rather it just all be in one place, or maybe not all in one place, but in less places. I'd rather all the travel content be on 539 Productions, but it just doesn't work that way anymore. Yeah, it's just weird. Things are just weird. It's a weird environment on YouTube right now. So, if it's not gonna work, and YouTube's, it's like I hate to put out great content that people want to watch only to have it not be watched because YouTube's not gonna send any notifications out. So if the answer is start a new channel that is going to take on those videos, then that's what I'm going to do. So that's the plan. All right. Yeah. Thanks for joining us, Francisca. You have a great night. Appreciate you being here. So yeah, that's where we're at. I've got some fairly major work to do for the health of the channel. It's just um, views and everything are way down. Um, I mean, I shouldn't say way down. They've just flatlined essentially. Yeah, if that makes sense. We're not having upward growth anymore. We're gaining a few followers here and there, but for the most part, the views are the same every time for the specific types of videos. It's like the cemeteries will do fairly well to really well. Anything else will get maybe on average around, a couple thousand hits, and then that's it. And even a lot of the cemeteries are the same way. It'll get, somewhere between 1.5 to 4 or 5,000 views, maybe, and then it'll sort of die there. And then maybe slowly over the next year it might grow, but like overall, channels of a similar size which are growing healthily probably are going to be getting a lot more views. And channels smaller than mine that are healthy are going to be getting about the same amount of views that I'm getting. So it kind of tells me the health of the channel, which is poor. So I have to do something now to increase the health of the channel, or I'll be forced to give it up altogether. So if that's limiting it to cemeteries and then creating several other channels, and that's what I'll have to do. But that's where we are. No working with anybody yet. Not until it's safe, but like I said, I just got the vaccine today, or the second one today, so here in a couple weeks I'll be free to do that again. So yeah, I'm sure I'll be working with Ryan again here in the future, including potentially a return to the hotel, which is again why I'd like to have a healthy channel where I can release that adventure and know that I'll be able to let all the people that want to watch it know that it exists. So I'm hoping by the time that happens that I can figure out the solution to this, because it's been a really big goal of mine to get back out there and not only make more content with him in other locations, but also to go back to that location and do even a deeper dive and go back with the endoscope now and try and find even more relics that are hidden away in the little cracks and floorboards and ventilation system that haven't been seen for, maybe almost 100 years. And so I think it'd be so sad to go back there and then just, have such a great series again, only to have it trashed on once again by YouTube. So it just one of those things that's kind of on my mind right now, because it's again just so frustrating, because if it were boring it'd be a whole nother thing, because sometimes I look at the videos over again and I'm like, well, maybe the reason that this one didn't do so well is because nothing exciting really happened. Maybe it really is me. Maybe it's just a boring video. Maybe the ultimate fault lies on me. And sometimes I do come to that conclusion often. But on certain videos, I think there's absolutely no way this is not me, and this is definitely one of them. This hotel series. Whether it's your specific favorite type of abandoned location, or you think it's a little bit too well kept and somebody clearly owns it, and but clearly in an historical way. It's like even while we were there, Ryan found a receipt that somebody had literally used, and so it's not everything is staged, and not every a lot of that, and even the staged things in that location are legitimate. Most almost 99% of the stuff that's there came from that location. um I believe the owner over the years has added a few things in here and there to certain areas, because certain areas he would like to someday open it up almost like a museum and have public tours, which occasionally happens. But then there's also areas that are unfinished, that are exactly as they were when the place was abandoned. And so, while it might not be everybody's cup of tea, I think it's really an absolutely amazing place that, to my knowledge, we were either the only ones to film there and release it on YouTube, or some of the only ones to have ever, if it wasn't only us, then there were very few other people that had done it. And like I said, ultimately, YouTube just kind of tanked it for no apparent reason, other than it had, like I said, flipped the dial. It used to be cemeteries that got no views on my channel, and then all of a sudden it flipped, and then all of a sudden I could only get views on cemeteries. And it was right about that time that the flip occurred. So that was one of the reasons it was so frustrating. But yeah. Anyway, sorry. Um, so yeah. At a certain point, yeah, I'll be back out with a bunch of the people that I've worked with before from the Cali trip. So yeah, you'll be definitely seeing some old faces again. And I try to keep in touch with people. So, not exactly the best at it, but I definitely try. So I talk to everybody from time to time and try to maintain a good relationship. So, RJ will be appearing again, and I'm sure we'll be back out with everybody again at some point here. So, who knows? It's pretty much possibilities right now. We've got 2 weeks, and then we're back at it. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, good question though there, Kenneth. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I agree, but it's more of an algorithm thing than anything. It's really just it's because you're doing something different, and it sort of confuses it. It's just YouTube's just better with repetition right now. That's the way it is. The more repetitive you are, and the more content that falls in line with exactly what the last content was, like I said, with cemeteries, then it seems to do decent. And then if you release something different, it not only sort of tanks that video, but then the ratings from that video then go on to affect the videos in the future. So that's the problem with that. It's, thankfully I've got a lot of great support from a lot of people, and I know people have been trying their best to go out and check them, make sure that they're not missing stuff, and make sure that the algorithm, or not the algorithm, but the notifications are actually going out. So I always appreciate all of your support out there, and I know that, this isn't, if it were up to you guys, I wouldn't have any of these issues. It's just often the platform preventing, or not preventing, but not notifying people when there is new things to consume. And so, that's how you get this channel of 30,000 plus subscribers that is only notifying, a few people here and there that there's videos. And that's why you see this weird disparity of subscribers to views often. Not all the time, but often. But yeah, I enjoy making it all. But sometimes you just, in the current environment, just aren't allowed to. But hopefully that'll change one day here soon. But, until that time, we're going to probably separate some of the content out and keep it on its own individual channels for each different type of videos. I'm not going to have a ton of channels, obviously, but, we're going to at least have the the road trips video or the road trips channel, and I think that one's almost a certain thing, because I know, like I was saying, that based on how the channel's doing right now, I'm very positive that when I do the test of the road trip series on 539, it will tank it. And so I will go ahead and try it, because I would, like I said, if it takes off and goes crazy and is the savior of the channel and makes creates an environment where I can create a variety of different types of videos, I would love to maintain 539 Productions as the travel channel and as a catch-all for my travel experiences, and then continue on as normal, the way we've done in the past. But if, like I'm predicting it will, if it tanks it and I get like 1,000 views, which isn't bad again, but for my channel's growth, it is bad. For the level of channel that I'm, for having 30,000 subscribers, that is pretty bad. In some ways, obviously I could get into that deeper, but we won't, because I'm not doing that tonight. But yeah, if that does happen, then that's the only course of action. So, but yeah, it's just come to the point that it's just weird, because it's like there's so many people that are saying that how much they enjoy stuff, and then it's like that. It's like YouTube just argues with them. It's like, no, you really don't. Because for whatever reason, all the time, even to this day, people are always complaining that, they're never getting notified. And it's not just me, obviously. There's tons of channels. So. But yeah. But in terms of creating, obviously I'll continue to create. It just depends on where it's gonna end up. But I mean, I'll obviously keep everybody updated. So if there's gonna be new videos in a different place, I'll make sure to let you all know, so that you can check out the new stuff. Just like I was saying earlier, with like doing like Twitch and whatnot. All of you will always be included along with that journey. Like I said, the only time I probably wouldn't notify anybody is when I create like the clips channel, just because I don't want the clips channel to be pigeonholed in the same way that the main channel is, so that hopefully the clips channel can sort of add fuel back to a dying fire in a sense, by creating hype on a brand new channel, but using the same content in a shorter format. I think is a interesting and potentially smart way of kind of greasing the gears and getting things moving better again. So that I probably will just kind of work on in the background. It might appear at some point in the future, but I'm not going to really make a big deal about talking about it because I quite frankly wanted to grow organically with a brand new audience because I want to reach new people. So yeah, that's my spiel about that. But that's as far as I'm going to go with all those issues tonight. I've already done that episode, and I've already spent my hours and hours of time discussing my problems with all that. So, but yeah, at any rate, there though, I will be beginning filming of a bunch of this content here over the next few weeks as I begin to travel further again, and I'll probably take my first road trip somewhere right around the 14-day mark. It probably won't be the return trip, but probably just like a small starter trip, essentially. I guess it will be the return trip, but like not the big one. If I do end up doing the Lake Michigan loop, I'll probably do a smaller trip first just to kind of get used to it again. To say that there's been no effects to being home for a year and doing very little travel other than short road trips would be really inaccurate. It's definitely had a huge effect. So, and I think that getting out is definitely harder. I definitely feel more attached than I used to in terms of wanting to stay in the same place. Not that I want to give up travel, because I do love it, but I definitely need to work my way back into it again, because it's just a different world now, and it just hasn't been part of my life really for so long now. So I'm gonna definitely be getting used to it again. At least on, like I said. Okay, sorry. YouTube said we lost connection for a minute, so I don't know what happened. I don't know if it actually paused on. I'm not seeing a pause in the stream, so that's good. But yeah. I'll be out on the road. I'll be creating. I'll be releasing it. I'll keep you guys updated as far as where it's gonna be. Obviously, most of it's probably gonna be on YouTube. Like I said, I might just start a brand new account. Obviously, like I've always said, 539's not going anywhere. I'm just gonna do what works. So it's not like I'm not gonna erase the channel. The content's never going anywhere. All the old videos are going to be available. If any old videos ever disappears, it's only I might on occasion steal old videos for new channels if I felt like the video did really badly and really plays into the subject of the new channel. If I really feel like it's going to do better somewhere else, if it's a video that only had like 1,000 views or something like that, and I feel like, yeah, I can lose 1,000 views, which you do if you delete one of your videos, which I think is kind of dumb for your overall channel views, because you did earn those views still, but your views will go down if you delete videos. So, but if I feel like it's something I'll do better, I might move it like that. But in terms of my back catalog, it's always going to be available. So, and I still get a lot of random views across the board. So, but yeah. Those are the plans so far, but obviously everything's still in the works. So in the meantime, we'll just be releasing like normal over on 539 and doing the live streams over here. And like I said, eventually, hopefully in the next few days, um, we'll actually get to that Twitch stream. I got it set up now. Everything's kind of saved and ready to go. So the only reason I did contemplate maybe doing it tonight, but I was like, knowing that I had been doing a pretty good streak of live streams, and I didn't take a huge break or anything again, but I did take a little bit longer of a break, so I figured I'd just take tonight to kind of come back and hang out. And like I said, I've this whole time been trying to encourage people with the being safe and safety and mask and everything, and so I did want to take some time to come on stream and show that not only that I did my part in it all, but that for the vast majority of us, it's not something that's super scary or that we should be worried about. That we should just go ahead and get it done and get it over with, so that everybody can get back to normal. So, yeah. So yeah, I kind of felt like it'd be good to put off the other stuff until next time. So maybe we'll see if we can bring my internet connection to its knees next time, and go ahead and dual stream and see what happens. See if my internet company hates me. I really don't think they'll care. I have plenty high speed enough of a connection to get it done, I think. So, we'll try that next time. Like I said, we'll have a new 539 episode today. Today for some of us, if it's Saturday in your neck of the woods, that's when the new video should be coming out. I'm finishing up some editing with that right now. Well, not right this moment, obviously, but yeah. And then new stream will probably be Monday, would be my guess. I'm trying to do the streams on different nights than I do the episodes, but sometimes I do it on the same night. So it could be Tuesday. I'm trying to have a new episode out on Tuesday. So we'll just see how busy I get with getting that done. I don't think it's going to be super terrible, so I'll try and do the live stream. And then, yeah, from there, I think, we've pretty much discussed everything that's going to be happening after that. Hopefully some of that will be on stream. Again, I've been putting the word out for tattoo artists and piercing artists that are live stream friendly or feel comfortable doing that, if they wanted to showcase their work on a live stream and would be willing to have a small camera set up, or travel to do something on site, then I would love to include that as part of an upcoming stream, especially part of the podcast. I think that'd be a great part of our alternative, or part of my alternative culture podcast, to actually, even though it's sort of the opposite of it is part of the culture, but not in the same way. Obviously, it's the act of getting it done, so it's just tattoo content. But at the same time, I think it fits. It's the podcast is clearly more in depth than just the act of it. But but what's a alt culture podcast if you don't occasionally have some of the work you get done getting done on the air? So I think it'd be fun. But so far, no takers. I do have one person, but I don't know how far that I'm going to travel. There is one person I'm sure that would be willing to do it, but again, I don't know if it fits into the narrative of what I'm doing over the next few weeks, and in terms of, like I was saying, building up to a bigger travel. I don't want to start out with a 1,000-mile tattoo journey, essentially, which would be a lot of fun. But I don't feel like that's a great place to start. I think to start with something incredibly hard is going to invite frustration, and that's not good. So. One day I will get used to the headphones. Alright, we're at 3.5 hours right now. Alright, I think looking at everything, I think I'm going to go ahead and call it for the night. Yeah. So at going on 3:30, still no big issues. Only slightly sore arm, doing good. So, yeah. Again, everybody out there, stay safe. Go get your shots, and get back to normal, just like I'm doing. And again, look for the upcoming episodes here over the next week, and new live streams, and hopefully a travel stream, weather permitting. This rain has just been terrible recently, so and never predictable. As soon as it says no chance of rain, it rains, and as soon as it says 100% chance of rain, it doesn't rain. So I don't know what to do half the time anymore. I guess I'm just going to have to always carry my rain equipment with me as soon as it's warm enough. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at weather-wise. It's just the rain has just been terrible and unpredictable. So it's been affecting the ability to do travel streams and the ability to film and all kinds of stuff. So as soon as the crazy spring weather's over and we get more kind of even, warm, clear, sunny summer weather, it'll make things a little bit more on time, on schedule, well spread out, that type of thing. It's just spring and winter in this area is just a lot of times unpredictable, especially these days. Thank you. Yep, good night, Brenda. Thank you, Alberta. Appreciate it, Shauna. Good night. But yeah, it won't be another week until we do a stream. Just a few days. And again, look for the new content on 539. It might not notify you, so make sure you check. Make sure you go to those. Just head over to youtube.com/539productions and just go to the where it says uploads, and you're guaranteed to see the new content. So if you're ever wondering, there's probably new stuff. I know it's been a little bit few and far in between recently, just because of everything going on, but we're still putting stuff out, and so more than likely there's probably some new stuff up there, and you might just not be getting your notifications, or if you don't have them turned on, that's fine. That's up to you. But I do appreciate y'all being here and your ongoing support. As always, if you like the stream, make sure to give it a thumbs up, make sure to share it, and the same thing on the 539 episodes. But yeah, I'll see you all in a few short hours here in terms of over on 539 in a brand new episode, and hopefully here on a new stream on Monday. So thanks once again, and have a great night, everybody, or morning or afternoon, depending on where you might be. See you guys.